Hi, welcome to this video of what is tarot and what is oracle. Tarot versus oracle, bit of a mystery. Can you use them together? Can you use it to self-help and self-empower yourself in your journey through life? So generally, an oracle is something that, like you used to have those mystics in the age gone by. They went to see the oracle. Ooh. So they had words of wisdom from spirit or the higher self, or just generally they gave people a message. But in the modern era, we have the tarot. Nobody really knows where it comes from, but I do. It came from a shop, Amazon. Do find my links and the affiliate links down below. So yeah, it did. But you've all switched off now, haven't you? So it's a very serious matter, tarot, because it does say where your journey came from and where's it going, and it can tell your future, but it can more importantly bring you to a spiritual awareness. It starts with the Fool. Not a very good name, but it's not the Fool's journey, it's your journey, my journey, and everyone's journey. So we learn a set of lessons through life, and this is kind of set in stone in tarot. Whereas the oracle, it can be anything. It's very close to the major arcana, and you will see things like justice, strength, all sorts of things. But with the tarot, it's set. It has things to do with your emotions, things to do with action, thoughts, and money and practicalities. It has, it's very close to a playing card set, and that's how it first was devised, they reckon. So people can tell your fortune with some playing cards, so it is quite easily, but then it's missing the major arcana, which is about your soul journey. So using whatever spread you want to use will determine in the placement of a spread what your situation is like. You can do a one card read, so you could ask the question, what am I going to do today? What do I need to know today? What do I need to know today? So yourself just shuffles these cards, and then they pull a card out. So for instance, that's the Ten of Swords. So that's going to equate to your mindset and thoughts. It looks quite scary. So this pack is the Rider-Waite pack. Its colour and symbolism is very real and has true meanings. And every other tarot deck is slightly different. So with the Ozo Zen, which is a more spiritual Zen-like pack, you again shuffle them and says, what do I need to know today? What do I need to know today? So with the sword suit, they'll have something else. So for instance, that's to do with emotions, going with the flow. So that's totally different to the other pack. And then you have the Archangel Tarot deck. So again, you'll have things like fire, water and air instead of the swords. So there we are, air. So they'll have these horses, unicorns, demonstrating air. So it's a little bit softer. So that is 8 of air. Whereas this pack is generally quite harsh. So when you get a pack that's modern, it will be a little bit softer and not all blood and swords and stabbing and all the rest of it, which is a bit scary. Oracle cards, on the other hand, are brilliant to use with this. Oracle cards have many meanings. This is the Love Tarot Oracle. So you get things like express your love, unquitted love. So these are really good. True love. So these are really good cards to use as well with your tarot cards. So you'll get chakra systems. So this is a good oracle card. Oracle are softer and say dreams, that can be said in the tarot, but in the oracle it's plain. It's got the word on it, and sometimes it has messages on it. So like for instance, these are oracle cards. So they have powerful move. So that can be interpreted however you want it. And there's like healing your heart. So that could equate to like the Three of Swords, where that is pain. Other oracle cards are like, this is the feminine pack. So you've got very strong ladies that are depicted. So you could do a whole spread reading to see where your energy is in the past and the future, just like in tarot. Okay, so also you can use Indians, the sacred earth, to get some really beautiful messages like balance. That one is in the modern tarot as the alchemy in the major arcana. So yeah, it is confusing for the newbie, but it is a lot of fun. Like clarity, you could look at that like the Ace of Swords, but the artwork is absolutely fantastic. Right, ready but waiting. So that one, unless you did a big spread, you kind of know that delays in the tarot, but this says it quite clearly. So for the beginner, this is quite good to use the oracle. Ready but waiting. Oh, I understand that, yes. So listen. Now this one is not particularly in the tarot deck, unless you pick up intuitively that the person should listen. Maybe have a few emotion cups cards with the sword cards. So listening is a new skill. So specialization, well, that is again in the tarot. You could look at 8 of Pentacles and maybe 10 of Pentacles and what's around it in a spread. It just depends if you use a different spread. You can use your own. So there's a lot of aspects. Oracle cards again can use angels and crystals. So these are always good to use. Mermaids, fairies, unicorns, anything. I've got one of witches familiar. So it's a more fun. Oracle is more fun, has a little meaning, but it can mean a lot. Animals, spirit animals, fairies, all the rest of it. Where tarot, you know where you are with tarot. They have set meanings, and that's basically it, unless you pick up intuitively and where they sit with each other. And then the more cards you read with it will explain everything. So everything comes together. But then you might want to clarify, like I often do in my readings, the Moonology Oracle. So what will happen tonight? What will happen tonight? So you shuffle them and pick a card, and it says, the end of a tough cycle approaches. So there's words on there, so it's quite clear when you look at the oracle, it is set, you know, as it says. But the moon is good because it is on an astrological moon. So this is why this deck is fantastic. You do find my affiliate links down below. So that's probably not explained it as well as I could have done. But the modern tarot is a lot more softer, while the old tarot is not so good. All you have to remember with the major arcana is they are life lessons that we proceed from the start of our journey as an adult all the way down to when we die and beyond. So I look at it as chapters, like 0 to 22, the end of the world, and then you start again at 0. But the Fool can go any part of the journey, so that's quite good. Still probably doesn't really explain what tarot is and why you should use it. Tarot is a way of looking and understanding on a subconscious level. So maybe you don't know that how you're feeling about a job, a situation. I wonder what's coming for my next year. What do I need to know about my money situation? Subconsciously it'll come up. Don't worry about money here, it's fine. Or something else will come up, maybe about romance that you didn't even know you were aware of. And like, oh, right, okay, that's interesting. And then if it was a romance reading, oh, let me just do this. So you shuffle the Love and Oracle just to get a bit more clarification on what it is your situation is. So this could be the one. That isn't necessarily in the tarot. this could be the one, is clear English. Whereas in the tarot, it might have Knight of Cups coming along, which is to do with emotions and to do with messages. So you would presume that love is coming. So Ace of Cups, that is love, but it's also many other meanings. So you can misinterpret the cards. So that's why it's important, perhaps, to go use your own intuition when you're reading for yourself or listening to others. So that's why many different readers will give different interpretations depending on their own intuition coming down. But if you're just doing the oracle cards yourself, then they will give meanings. They'll just say things like, let's have a look, center. So maybe you've been all over the place with your thoughts or what you need to do, and you need to center yourself more and specialize in what it is. But with the oracle and any card that you read from, you really do have to gaze at it and then let your intuition be guided to the picture. Or you might hear what's being said. Oh, drawn to that, then you hear and then you can read. So the oracle cards work really, really well with the tarot cards. So depending on what kind of spread you do, learning 1 card or a 3-card spread. So for instance, ask me a question. Is my ex coming back? I hear you say. This is a very common question. Is my ex coming back? So shuffling the cards, let's do your reading now. Is my ex coming back? Is my ex coming back? So, just 3 cards, put them on the table. And let's have a look what's read. So there's a knight rushing around with his sword. What do you think that says? There's the 8 of Cups, which is to do with emotions. What do you think that says? And there's a King of Cups. So what do you think that says? So relating all these 3 together will give you a particular reading. Those that are listening that know cards would perhaps give you a different interpretation of what I might say. So this is where the oracle comes in. Right, okay. So someone said to me, stop thinking about the past, move away emotionally, and there's another guy for you. Where somebody else might say, yeah, rushing your thoughts into really moving towards what your ex wants. He's going to walk away from his ex, and there you go. Different interpretations. So what would you do? Get an oracle. Give it a shuffle. Is my ex coming back? Is my ex coming back? Is my ex coming back? Pick a card. Healing family issues. So it's important with this particular reading, before you notice that your ex is coming back, to heal family issues. So that could be healing what's going on with me or them. Do you see what I mean? So that's not really as clear as mud. So you could get the Moonology card. Is my ex coming back? Is my ex coming back? Is my ex coming back? Let's have a look. Emotions are running high. This is always an interesting one when it comes up. You must realise that I don't want my ex to come back. This is purely for entertainment purposes and learning. So when this comes back, towards you in this reading, then it might mean yourself, your emotions are running high, or for them it's running high. Sometimes when they are running high, it can be quite explosive. So perhaps if your ex did come back with that particular circumstance, especially when they're feeling very insecure, then if you were to get together, then it could be, and especially with the family healing issues, it still needs to be healed. So that's an example of how the 2 oracle cards can come together to really explain just a 3-card reading. You can have it read positive or negative. Depends on the reader. Depends on how they feel at the time of reading it. So that's how the 2 marry really, really well together. I know that hasn't explained much, but oracle cards can be used on their own. So let's have a look. So you want to know, so you could pick your oracle cards and go, what do I need to know today? What do I need to know today? So whatever pack you're drawn to, and you can just pick one card and will. So where is your will today? Have you got willpower or have you got lack of will? Do you need to study free will today, or do you feel like you've lost your will? Many different meanings, but you can have your own oracle and just use it like that. Probably hasn't explained it very well. But if you come into my live readings, I often use them all together, and in the daily readings as well. But have fun. Always pick a pack of cards that you've seen the pictures, because sometimes if you don't gel with the pack, you'll never ever use it. But for learning tarot, they always say the Rider-Waite is the best one to use. I started learning with a handle one, which is very, very complicated. This was my very first deck. It's got many, many symbols on it, so it is a lot complicated than the Rider-Waite. So please don't pick a very complicated one to use, but it's still got a lot of symbolism in it. 4 of stones instead of 4 of pentacles. And there's a cups, and it's got the I Ching, and it's really, really useful. It's got the Hebrew, I Ching. It's got a lot of information in there, but when you're first learning, it's slightly difficult. So I hope that's helped. And if it's made you more confused, then it's always good to be confused, because that's not set in mind. Your mind's not set in stone, so that's really good. But have fun with it. All my tarot cards are in the links down below. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you again next time. Do take care. Lots of love to you all.